First question asked was, have your organization considered crisis and at any point, any point in time since COVID-19 started? So have you activated your crisis management plan? Okay, and how was it triggered and how was it managed? Okay, this was first question. Now this I'm going to put under general heading. Do you do we have a proper definition of crisis management and business continuity, or do we have this plan, or are they together? Okay, this one I'm trying to just in terms of time, just give you some heads up. Next question asked Wifong from Marina Base. Have the BCP been useful in long pandemic? I'm going to hint to you, we have never built a plan for 3 years, 2 to 3 years plan for pandemic. Like what Rizwan say, we have a plan. It's called playbook. The playbook, unfortunately, I'm going to be rude. It's called play. In the truest sense, means we do it because my bosses, my governance say I need to have it. But actually, we have not actually thought through. But having said that, it is a basis for us to start. If it happens, there's no way of us having a detailed 2-year pandemic flu plan for every single scenario. And I'll explain to you a bit more later on, because it is about what Rizwan say, adaptive. I'll call them as a progressive. Okay, next question asked is, Vincent was asking, is there a plan that can handle all situations? Okay, if Vincent is we're just joking. If you have a plan, that will be our job. That can handle everything, right? So basically the reason is because of this. I'm going to answer the first part of this question using this paper. I saw this question and I'll have to dig into I've written this book called How to Manage Influenza or Pandemic Flu for many years. This is the third version. Now, every pandemic outbreak is here. You can see here. So to answer the first question by Sean, take note. When we do pandemic flu, we have BCP execution state from before it happens up to we stand down. Okay, so this is the 6 R's that's being practiced by BCM Institute. We have the 6 R, and then we go back to reduction mode, means back to normal, which we do not foresee for next 9 months. All right, so this is where business. Your question is, when is your BC crisis management activated? Here, the moment we start to respond, the moment we cite it, the moment government gives an indication, we activate a crisis management team. I assume your crisis management team and your BCP team are 2 separate teams. But a lot of organizations are building them together, and hence there's a confusion. When do we activate as a crisis or disaster? Second comment, a disaster means you're denied access to your people, process, infrastructure. A crisis means you have a problem, but you're not denied access to people, process, infrastructure. When you have pandemic, you have both a crisis and a disaster. So understand what is a crisis and what is a disaster. Sorry, this is a BCM 101. Now, where are we now? This is the stage where we respond, Wuhan, 2019, November. So like what Rizwan has said, some organization like what he was holding at FWD, he activated. He sensed that whenever we have a problem, we must go. We must be prepared. We must start thinking about it. But no offense to people. A lot of people felt that, oh, it's a China virus. Okay, so let's ignore it. You will just disappear like what SARS. It happens to Hong Kong, Singapore, Toronto. So it won't happen to us. After 3-4 months, we'll be done. Okay, so this is the actual site. So where are we now? Every alert stage is where someone have it. Here is Wuhan. Then what happens is start to spread to everybody, and that's where we start to respond, and then it goes to pandemic. Now, most of you understand you got alpha, you got beta. UK, in Europe, they started that, right? Alpha, beta, and goes to Brazil. So that's where you hit this pandemic stage. And then now we slow down slightly, then suddenly Delta comes on, which is here. Sorry, then we go to Delta, go to Omega. Now, to answer your first question is, your BC plan must be here. Then to answer Hui Feng's question is that actually you activate all 6 R together. You will activate all 6 R together now and when you are moving. Why? Because you are bringing staff back to the office. The government is forcing you to come back office. You must make a decision whether to say yes or no. I need to share with you. Doesn't mean the government say you come back means you come back. It depends on the nature of business. If you are in the service industry, you got no choice. Everybody comes back, but bear in mind 50% of your staff is going to be infected, going to be quarantined. That's guaranteed. Okay, so this is where the Omicron comes in. Okay, so then after that, the rest, for example, you continue to respond to your incident. Remember, how do you handle someone who is infected? How do you handle someone at home? Like the last slide that Rosita gave was the HR and which one? HR issue, you have to bear that in mind to take note that the HR issue is to do not allow. I mean, in Singapore, we say if you are infected like me, I don't have to declare to the government. I just have to ART, self-quarantine for 72 hours, get ART for next few until I turn negative. All right, so this is just an example. Next question, sorry about it, I just crossed the line. How do you manage the pandemic in the long run? Okay, question asked is what are the useful information? There's like what Rizwan say, back to fundamentals. What Rosita has also highlighted, what are the checklists that you need to do? Her last two slides, Rosita's slides, are actually checklists for you to expand. All right, you will have it in her write-up. She actually kindly written it, and then we will give it to you. But the thing is, there are checklists, and then you expand on it. Go back to your country. Like example, all countries behave differently politically and also culturally, and also how much have you been vaccinated to get herd immunity. If you don't have enough in your own city or where you're operating, you treat it very differently. Next question, Eva was asking, what do you do in endemic stage? Same thing as I mentioned, last two slides of Rosita actually states exactly the checklist, talking about human resource, talking even up to mental. Okay, but I want to just sum up today's session. I mentioned Wuhan, Alpha, Beta. Then we go into Delta. Okay, from Delta, while we thought we are safe, Omega came on. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to emphasize is there's not stopping any more Omicron. There will be some more coming on. So whether you like it or not, you're going to iterate from here. But the last part that I'm going to emphasize is this. A lot of question is being asked on endemic. Say, Doc, I mean, you put in as part of your comment, and I'm sorry, cannot answer all the question is, what do you do? Endemic, according to what Rosita has presented in her second slide, it's really clear that the country is only certain countries are affected, the rest are okay. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to change the endemic definition slightly different because the government has to open the economy, whether it is ready or not. Because they have to open politically. If not, they'll be voted out. That's something I foresee a lot of countries are under pressure to open, whether you're ready. So to answer Eva's question is this, what will happen is this, you are going to have additional infection. Okay, so it is worse than when you're in pandemic. I'm going to warn you, except because you're highly vaccinated, herd immunity comes in, people like me stay at home and work while we are infected. You see, I mean, so you have to now rethink of what I presented in the last slide. I call it workforce, I think I used the word strategic workforce management. You have to now identify who are the workforce that must be on-site critical, off-site critical, then not on-site critical and not on-site not critical. Example, so identify this staff, find replacement. If you really got hit too hard, downsize your operation, downsize your business processes, and that's it. Nothing you and I can do, except unless you have a second workforce ready to come in, which you don't have the luxury now. Even you want to bring them in from anywhere outside, you can't have the luxury. Okay, so this is something that I want all of you to take away. Endemic does not mean the end of pandemic. The endemic means the government are being forced to show their hand and open up the economy, which means my speculation, you're going to hit with more infection, and the staff watch for your HR, your strategic manpower, workforce management. This is my comment to you. All right.